Hi, my name is Brian Ellis. I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska. Lived here all my life, and I'm a member of Animal Rights Advocates of Nebraska, a local animal rights group. The group's name is Animal Rights Advocates of Nebraska. We're actually an independent group. We're not an affiliate of a larger organization. Our main mission or objective is just to raise awareness, to try to make people aware of the fact that animals are like humans and that they feel pain, and that because of that, they should have protections in the form of rights. They should, not be mistreated. They should have a right to live, a right to exist in a way where they can be happy. And basically the idea that they're not ours to use as we see fit and to profit off of and sell their bodies and experiment on them and whatnot. So we've engaged in activism before. We've protested the circus when they come to town, basically for their mistreatment of the animals. They keep them in small cages, cramp them into trucks from moving them across the country, and using the hooks and the beating the elephants and tigers and lions to get them to perform tricks. So we protest the mistreatment of animals at the circus. When the rodeo comes to town, last year we set up posters all over town, basically demonstrating the inherent cruelty of the rodeo to the animals, how they suffer broken bones, and how it's just generally a cruel practice. Other than that, we do hand out pamphlets, booklets that discuss animal rights and discuss the way people can work to help animals by adopting a more animal friendly diet, going more plant-based, slowly phasing out their consumption of meat, eggs, and dairy and things like that. So it's an uphill struggle, but we do what we can, and we don't try to use sensational tactics like some groups do, where we're in your face. And using that style, we kind of just try to approach people and have a polite conversation with them. I think if you're going to change somebody's mind, you're not going to do it by antagonizing them or being aggressive. So we just try to share with them some information that they're not aware of, and hopefully change their mind that way. As far as stuff that the group has done, I thought that our circus protests were pretty good as far as reaching out to people and talking to people, because a lot of the people going there had no idea that there were abuses taking place. I mean, we had flyers that talked about actual documented cases of animal abuse where they were cited. The Shrine Circus.
Yeah, you do a rodeo protest, people kind of got an idea that they're going to see cruelty.
Yeah, circus people have no idea.
I like this particular anti-cruelty group because they're very kind to everybody. We didn't learn these things when we were kids, and so we've been self-educating ourselves, sort of we're guiding each other through this process of learning what animals are at risk and what's in our food. And the group is, like I said, they're just very, very open and very friendly. I feel wonderful when I come to these meetings. Everybody's just really wonderful.
This innocent time, and then you start throwing all of these realities at them, and it's not easy to take, especially if their children are there. Then they might be going in, and anyway, even after they talk with you, but I imagine they're sitting there kind of with a bit of a lump in their stomach, going, should I still be here? What is going on? Why am I contributing to this? And you can only hope that then they spread the word.
For a long time, I was just like most people. I was apathetic and thought the whole idea of animal rights was some silly idealist thing. I was like, it's impossible to avoid animal exploitation or using animal products, the medicines we use, all kinds of things that you wouldn't even guess have animal products in them. So I just thought it was kind of this foolish philosophy or ideology, and it wasn't until I got into college and I started to work on farms, that I kind of was confronted with the reality of how we treat animals and how we think about animals.
Brian is wonderful, and I have not had the privilege yet of going out on any of the protests with him. As I was saying to our group earlier, I've always thought of myself as this single, quiet warrior that's working with students and young people and little kids and teaching them about these same things that Brian is going into large groups and being a little louder about. And like, I teach my children why we don't go to the circus and why we don't go to the rodeo, and I talk to other people about why I don't do that. But I haven't joined any of the protests yet, just because that part of it is all new to me. But I'm fascinated listening to him. He doesn't sound offensive or aggressive to me, and he's really knowledgeable about what he's talking about.
I've always been an animal lover, and that's kind of why I went into the field that I went into. I'm a veterinary technician. So when I went to college to study for that, we got to tour the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, where they do a lot of experimentation. And when we went there, they had a monkey in a restraint cage, basically, where it couldn't move at all. And it was in this cage where it had the top portion of its skull removed. And it was just a really nightmarish type of thing to see. And what they were doing is they were injecting the simian immunodeficiency virus into the brain to study how it affected the brain. And I believe what the purpose of the study was to kind of study the effects of dementia, AIDS-related dementia in primates. And I was just really shocked by that. Working on the farms up there, I witnessed a lot of things that I didn't agree with. We performed castrations with no anesthesia, dehorning, branding, notching of the ears, cutting the teeth, tail docking of baby pigs, all of these things without anesthesia, where you're basically slamming the animals into a chute and cutting their testicles off, or branding them with a hot iron. I mean, they're screaming and vocalizing the whole time. They're obviously in tremendous pain. And the mentality of the people that were instructing us on how to do these things were, they would reassure us, so these animals don't feel pain. If they're feeling anything, it's nothing like you or I would. So, my whole thought was that this is obviously false. They're obviously in excruciating pain. I can understand that just by seeing how they react. So seeing a lot of those things really shifted my perception and changed my mind. So I helped to form this group because I thought that it was important for people to understand basically what when they go to the store, when they buy meat, when they buy eggs, what they're contributing to. All of these things that happen go on behind closed doors. Nobody, unless you're in a position like me where you're out working on the farms, you're in the field and you're seeing it firsthand, you're not gonna see that. And a lot of the people that do see that, it doesn't shock them because they were raised with this mentality that basically animals are commodities. They're unthinking, unfeeling, and we can use them as we see fit. But I think if more people understood what was going on, they'd change their mind. And that's kind of the idea of the group, is just to kind of introduce the general public to what is entailed in their lifestyle, when they purchase animal products, and to just make them aware of things that they can do to try to help animals.